How's it going, everyone? Welcome to Block Unlocked, and welcome back to Sister Location Time Travel Edition, because this is future me talking to y'all about what happened with past me playing the game. It's a little confusing, but as you all know, if you watched the stream, if you've seen any of my recent Sister Location videos, I was dead set on getting the secret ending, and that definitely just took a lot of work, so I was going to run over a couple of these runs that I did with y'all and the winning run, and I didn't want it just to be my gameplay speaking for itself, so I thought I'd just give a little voiceover. So first we're going to start with the run before I won, just to show you what happened 90% of the time, because I did this for 4.5 hours yesterday. Definitely a lot of time put in this. So as you can see here, I'm just sitting there, and okay, I heard, that's the thing, is that this is all based on audio cues. So if you hear it at past 4 to 5 a.m., do you hear how he's going crazy everywhere? If you hear him on any side, it's just a good idea just to go ahead and shut the door, because he moves so fast. That's why I decided my strategy was going to be to save as much power as I could from 12 to 4, and then from 4 to 5 to use a little bit more in shutting the door to get away from him. But yeah, as you can see, it swapped over to 5 at about 15%, which is possible, but highly unlikely, especially with what this guy's about to do to me here. As he keeps moving side to side here, and he keeps throwing noises over to that side, and keeps swapping everywhere. So he just went left, left, right, and now he went right again, and usually on the third one, he's there, but then if he leaves, which he always makes an audio cue when he leaves, so you don't have to check the camera again, then he usually, if he does a third without an audio cue, then he is for sure going to be at the door ready to kill you. So if you flip up the camera, you're dead. That happened to me a couple times. But here you can see 3% power, 5 a.m. He's still going berserk. He's moving around everywhere. I will die if I don't keep doing this. Now he's on the right. He's just not giving me a break. And of course, as you all know, jump scare incoming. He actually waits a long time before he kills me. So I thought I was going to make it. I was pretty angry about that one. But yeah, that's just how it went. For about an hour, that's how the runs went. And now we'll get into the DVR of the winning run. So as you know, you turn back. You walk to the right. You get access granted. We're going to start this one straight from the beginning so I can talk to you guys about exactly. There it is, access granted. All right, so we're in here now, and the hand unit guy's going to yell at you for like,
it seems that you
I don't know, 15 seconds, really loud. And the good news is that Ennard is not doing anything at this time. But the bad news is your power is doing something right now.
So hang tight.
But I guess it cancels itself out because you are also counting down the time at this moment. So this is when I would start my timer for 9 minutes to know how close I was getting. And what's interesting at this point in the game is this early, you see my mouse is barely moving. I have my eyes closed at this point almost every time. Just because when Baby starts talking, and this music that I'm sure you guys can't hear because I'm talking over the music, but the music is very loud, and Baby is even louder when she starts talking, or Ennard mocking Baby, that is. So, yeah, right there, it covers up almost all of his audio cues, so you have to just focus and block that out. And if he would make a sound, I can show you what you're supposed to, or I can show you what I was going to do. I changed my strategy from the stream. I would hear him, check the camera on the side that I heard him from, make sure he's not at the door, and shut it. That was my strategy from 12 to 4. Shut it if you saw him at the door, but check the camera every time you hear an audio cue. In this run, and in the last 5 runs I did, that was just me checking just to make sure I didn't miss him anywhere. In the last run I did, especially the winning run, I would only check the camera if I heard him 2 times in a location, minus the front vent. Because if you hear him twice in the front vent, you just go ahead and shut it. So there you go. I heard him in the left, and I'm moving over to the left, ready to do something. But I won't do anything unless I hear him a second time on the left, because usually from 12 to 4, he's going to like, okay, there, you heard him a second time, he's there. Okay, but you don't shut the door trying to save battery. If you hear him a third time, then you shut the door, check, and if he's there, you keep it closed, obviously, but if not, then you can go ahead and open it back up. But once it gets past 4 a.m., I'll let you know how that strategy changes, but Here, that seemed to be working because he loves to dance around those back rooms, and if he dances around the back rooms on either side, then he also makes an audio cue on that side. So it's going to sound like he's at your door, but he's actually not. So that's what he did right there, is that he was in the hallway, but he didn't charge the room. Instead, he just moved back. But it was always a good idea just to shut the door anyways. You don't have to, and I probably would have saved myself a little extra battery doing that. Okay, so that was an example of something I was saying. If you hear him head over twice, and then you check the camera, he's in the hallway, he leaves, you think you're good, and then a third time he comes, he's almost always going to be at the door, I learned. And I died multiple times doing that. So if I hear him a third time in any location like that, I just go ahead and shut the door, because I was screwed over so many times by him doing that. So here, the split at 2 a.m. is really 71 to 70. If you get 71, you're set up really, really well. That means that he hasn't done his thing where he'll sit at a door and drain you down to pretty much 63%. Happened a bunch of times, and I would just shut all the doors at that point because it was over. So I'm feeling good right now, but the problem is everything changes at 4 a.m. 4 a.m. is when things can get really hairy. In my opinion, the night is 1 from 12 to 4, but the night can be lost from 4 to 6, because 4 to 6 is more like you have the see, there you go. His third or fourth sound on that, he went straight to the door. So, but anyways, from 4 to 6, you were just fair game pretty much the entire time for just him moving around like a maniac, like you saw in the run that I lost. So, if you were able to keep your power, though, like I said, I'm using very little power here, trying to get above 50%, well above 50% for 3 a.m., so that I can use that excess bit of power to shut the door whenever I hear him, because he's able to rush, is what they call it, at 5 a.m. and 4 a.m. too, but mostly at 5 a.m. he does this thing called rushing, and that is where if you don't close the door when you hear him, and he's at his backstage where he's still in the hallway camera, but he's not at the door yet, and you flip up the camera, then he can rush you and kill you. So that's not a thing he can do from 12 to 3 a.m. So that's why when he's even at the door, you're able to check the camera for a brief moment and then shut the door, like I've been doing. But yeah, that's just me anticipating. Yep, there we go. See, after a while, after you've played these for 4.5 hours, you start to get a feel for when he's going to attack or when he's going to move. And I've done that a couple times, and there he was again, but he was in the back room that time. So yeah, the scary part for me is that I feel like this mode is actually kind of haunting and disturbing and scary, is because eventually his mockery of Baby's voice is replaced at 4 a.m. by Elizabeth Afton, which is William Afton's dead daughter, which is very creepy and unnerving at the same time while you're trying to deal with this dude. But like I said, if you saw, I think power turned at like 5 or 54% to 3 a.m. So that is extremely good and usually unsustainable. But yeah, like you saw there, he charged the door immediately, and that's a very short time event. You have to decide on what to do. So yeah, and all these voice lines that Baby and Elizabeth are making, I have them all memorized as to when the nights are going to be over, like when the hours will be over. So the final line that Elizabeth will say when you're about to win, and you still have a couple seconds after she says it too, is she'll say, "We need you so that we can hide." But yeah, as you can see, it's now 4 a.m. This is when you start to sweat, your hands start to shake because you're like, I'm so close. But this is game time. Like he just did. That's a perfect example right there at 4 a.m. If I had checked the camera right there, I would have been dead because he charged the door immediately. But you always have to worry, and it's usually not a problem at 4 a.m. This is a weird occurrence that he sits at the door for 10 to 15 seconds. That's usually a 12 to 3 thing, but in this case it was a 4. Yeah, and right there, you'll check again, and he's moving like a maniac like that. See, he's going to probably make a sound again. There he is, and he's back. And he keeps making sounds over and over, but you can't risk it. You just got to keep dropping that door down. And we're getting close to 5 a.m. now. As you can hear Elizabeth talking. I'm trying just to keep those doors open as much as I can, keep the camera down as much as I can to get above, well above 20% for 5 a.m. because I know I'm going to be shutting doors like crazy at 5 a.m. love to have above 20. I've learned that with the strategy that I like to keep, the strategy that I'm best at, I need above 20% for 5 a.m. So that really happens, like I said, from 3 to 4 a.m. That's the crunch time that you need to know, like, all right, we need to set our power up for 5 a.m. And here, if it would just turn 5 a.m., I remember thinking, like, if it would just turn 5 a.m. right now, I think I could make it. So we dropped down to 19, and okay, that's winnable for me. That's winnable. That just means that we're now probably going to have a couple seconds of power outage, which is usually a no-go because Ennard is very fast. It's unlike FNAF 1, where Freddy would give you a little song before that. He is extremely fast and will kill you almost immediately. But here you go with his just dancing everywhere. Everywhere you can think of, Ennard is at. He's like in 3 places at once sometimes, it feels like. But this is just the crazy thing that he does, where he'll just move through back room to back room and then immediately to a door, and that'll kill 90% of players, including me, for 4.5 hours. 6 hours, really, because of the stream as well. Like that move right there, and you have to be ready because he's going to go immediately to the middle. And here soon, he will go immediately to doors. At the end, he's trying to just get you any way he can, so he's going to keep doing that. He's going to go to the door, back off, go straight back to the same door, back off, go back to the same door, and back off. That's what his move was. At this point, I'm sweating because I know I'm doing well. She just said, we need you so we can hide, and I know, oh, man, I'm so close. Like, I can just taste it now, but I know he's going to try and take that last 2% from me, like he is now, and he moves away. And I'm considering sitting, but if you sit, then you run the risk of him charging. So I went ahead and just shut the door and shut it again for some reason. I don't know why. This is when I was really nervous, but boom, we got it. She said, we'll find a way out. I stand up, I wish I had my microphone on, guys. I wish I did, because I stood up, started screaming. I was so happy. Almost passed out. I stood up so fast. But yeah, I still feel it. I'm so happy that I beat it, but it is the most grueling thing I've done in maybe a game of all time. I don't know. It was insane. And now you obviously go back to where you eat popcorn and everything in the final episode of The Immortal and the Restless, and you think you've made it home safe, but there's a reason you don't.
It was like a morgue in there.
A morgue.
I may be undead, but you're heartless.
You need to see your son.
The baby is
Look at me. I know what's happening. I know what's about to
He hit
happen.
the cat.
Sounds like something he got from your side of the family.
Well, how's
I
that?
was not even
You
really
done
sitting at my
great.
seat at this
The
point.
joke's on you. I
Um,
found it in a kid's
I'm
meal.
shaking like crazy
Got a kid's
because
Oh,
that
Dad.
that moment is the worst, where you're just sitting at 5 a.m. and power runs out, and you know, if he waits 1.5 seconds, I win. If he waits 1.4 seconds, I lose. So you just have to, it's all up to chance there. But thank God I got a lucky run.
What about the back child support? Stay tuned.
Apparently
next
this
season for
this
those
show that
answers
appears at the end of
and
these
more.
nights has something to do with the lore, but I'll have to look into that. And here you go. Look who it is. You're not done yet. I don't know why your guy's just sitting there, though, holding popcorn. And how'd you not know he was in your house? There he is. And boom. End credits. So that's what it took. 4.5 hours of just craziness with Ennard. One of the hardest things I've ever done in a game. Probably the hardest thing I've ever done in a game. The most time I've ever spent on something in a game for sure is over 6 hours of straight up just playing the thing over and over. I think it was over 60 attempts maybe. And each attempt roughly takes 8 to 9 minutes depending on when you die in the night. But it honestly takes more than that, because as you guys saw on the stream, you had to go type the thing in with baby and all that. Again, you had to walk through Funtime Auditorium, which takes like a weird 20 seconds of just running, even though there's nothing in there. But yeah, I wish it would just start where baby's already been sent to the scooping room, but you know, that wouldn't make sense with the story and whatnot. That's just wishing. But once again, thank you guys so much for taking the time out of your day to watch this video. I hope you enjoyed watching me take it to Ennard this time, finally beating him. I know a bunch of you guys in the stream were rooting for me, giving me tips and stuff, so hopefully this is a win for us all. And I know I'm excited. I may never open this game ever again. I may explore the custom night a little bit on a stream. I'm not sure. But from what I've heard, the Golden Freddy mode on Sister Location Customized is pretty much not fun how hard it is. So I don't know what challenge I will try to do if I do any, but I'm really looking forward to moving to, whoa, hello there, notification. But I'm really looking forward to moving on to Pizzeria Simulator, which is honestly, in my opinion, more scary than this game. Just because it really puts you right back in the action. And I also had a couple people suggest Help Wanted, so that'll also be something we're doing in the future, just to keep on this FNAF kick for a little while. And hopefully we can do this long enough to where Security Breach will come out, and then we can cover that as well. So thank you guys so much for watching. That's going to do it for me, and that's going to do it for Sister Location, finally. Thank you guys so much for watching, and as always, don't settle for shallow.